Hello everyone. In previous video, we have actually studied about different levels of organizations present in the body of a multicellular organism. Fine. In this video, we are going to discuss, some of the highly specialized cells present in plants and animals. Okay. What are their adaptations? What are their functions? And what are their locations in the body of organism? Fine. So let's start. The first cell is ciliated epithelial cells. Okay, first we are going to discuss all the animal cells. So first cell is ciliated epithelial cells. When we talk about the location of these cells, I have already told you in the previous slide that epithelial cells, they form the covering, okay, outer covering and inner covering of all the organs present in a body. Okay, it's a kind of it's a method of providing protection to all these organs in the body. And the meaning of word ciliated is they have these tiny hair-like projections, which is known as cilia. Fine. So ciliated epithelial cells, they are actually present, they are actually located in our trachea and bronchi. Bronchi means bronchus. Okay, now if you'll try to recall the diagram of human digestive system, in center we have trachea. Okay, trachea, and then this trachea divides into two bronchus, okay, or two bronchi, okay, which goes or enters inside the lungs. So in this trachea and two bronchus, we have ciliated epithelial cells. Now what is the function of these ciliated epithelial cells? First, first understand the adaptation. The adaptation of these ciliated epithelial cells is they have this tiny hair-like projection, okay, and this tiny hair-like projection is known as cilia. Okay, what it is called? Cilia. Okay. Apart from this, if you look at this particular picture, you can find out that wherever these ciliated epithelial cells are present in trachea and bronchi, okay, so along with these ciliated epithelial cells, at certain interval, we have other cells which are known as goblet cells. Okay, look here in the picture, this yellow color cell, okay, this one is known as goblet cells. Now the function of this goblet cell is to produce mucus, okay, to form mucus. Okay, now this mucus, once it is formed, it goes and just gets stuck, not stuck, it just gets settled on the trachea. Okay, our trachea is the inner side of trachea is covered with mucus. Okay, now what happens is when we inhale air inside a body, okay, now the air is having some of the dust particles or any pathogens. Pathogens means disease causing microorganisms. So these dust particles and these pathogens, they passes through the nasal hair, okay, from your nose, through your nose. So some of these dust particles and pathogens get trapped in the nasal hair, okay, but those who who remains untrapped in the nose, they passes through trachea and bronchus. So while passing through trachea and bronchus, these pathogens and dust particles are trapped by the mucus. This yellow color area you can see, right? It is trapped by the mucus. Okay. Now the function of this cilia is this mucus cannot go inside the lungs. Okay, it won't be good for our body. So it cannot go inside the lungs. So what the cilia do? They they move to and fro. They move to and fro. Okay. So they move to and fro and they shift or they try to sweep away the contaminated mucus in the upward side. Upward side means towards the throat, and once it comes to the throat, either we cough and spit it outside, or it goes to our alimentary canal. Okay, it goes to our esophagus. From esophagus it goes to the stomach. Inside stomach, hydrochloric acid is released, right? So that acid actually we cannot say digest, but acid completely destroys this mucus and the pathogens present in the mucus. Fine. So this is the function of ciliated epithelial cells. They are adapted because they have tiny hair-like projections called cilia. Okay, they are located in the inner side of trachea and bronchi, in the inner lining of trachea and bronchi, and the function is cilia moves or sweeps the contaminated mucus upwards, that is from trachea towards the throat. Okay. Next slide actually shows you the image of, the real microscopic image of inner lining of trachea. Sometimes, this image is also shown in the this image as such is given in the IGCSE papers also. So you should be actually able to identify which are goblet cells, which are ciliated epithelial cells, and which are the cilia. So if you look here, as it is clearly shown in the picture with the arrow here, this one is goblet cell. Okay, this one is goblet cell. It produces mucus. You can make out this one is also goblet cell. This one is also goblet cell. Here also we have goblet cell. Then these tiny hair-like projections which are shown here is cilia. Okay, and then we have here these long cells you can make out. Different nucleus are there, isn't it? So one nucleus is present in one cell. So these cells are actually, very long and thin, tightly packed. So these are ciliated epithelial cells. Okay, so cilia, ciliated epithelial cells, and goblet cells. And this dark stained body is nucleus. So you should be able to identify all these cells which are given or about which you're going to study in the microscopic images also. Next cell is root hair cell. Okay, so root hair cell is actually present in plants. Fine. As the name indicates, root hair cell, the location is in roots. Okay, so root hair cells are present in roots. Now what are their adaptations? So they have three adaptations. First, you look at the picture here, right side. This is the outermost layer of cells present in the root. Okay, for example, a root is present like this. So the outermost layer of cell, okay, the outermost layer of cell present in the root, okay, they have a long and thin, hair-like projection, which is called root hair. So first adaptation is they have an extension, thin and long extension, which is called root hair. Now you are already aware that the function of root is to absorb, okay, absorb water and minerals from the soil. So the presence of this root hair in the root cells is like, it increases surface area for the absorption of water and minerals. Surface area is increased for the absorption of water and minerals. Next is large number of mitochondria are present. So you have already studied in previous videos that some of the cells in the body of animals and plants, they have large number of mitochondria, because inside mitochondria respiration process takes place, which provides energy to perform any kind of activity. So root hair cells are always very active because they have to continuously do this job of absorption of water and minerals from the soil. Fine. So these mitochondria, large number of mitochondria are present in order to provide higher amount of energy to these root hair cells. Last adaptation is concentrated vacuole present in the root hair cells. Okay, the sentence is incomplete here. Concentrated vacuole is present inside the root hair cell. Now the benefit of this concentrated vacuole is it actually increases the osmotic concentration. Now the meaning of this particular sentence is inside vacuole more amount of salt, sugar, or any kind of waste product is present, so that the water potential decreases. Okay, so that the amount of water present inside the vacuum decreases because more amount of salt, minerals, okay, sugar, waste product, hormones, enzymes are present inside the vacuum. Now if inside the vacuum the concentration is high or water potential is low, what will happen? Root hair cells will be able to absorb water easily, okay, from the soil, because that water always moves from higher water potential to low water potential. About this we are going to learn in unit 3. Okay, so water always moves from higher water potential to lower water potential. Hence inside root hair cells concentrated vacuoles are present, which increases the osmotic concentration of the cell. Okay, as concentration of the cell increases, obviously the water potential decreases. And the function of root hair cells is absorb water and minerals from the soil. And another very important function is it anchors plant into the soil. The plant is able to stand upright in the soil. The plant is able to remain stiff to one particular position because roots, they anchor the plant in the soil. Next image again shows you a root tip. Okay, it is highly magnified. It is magnified by 70 times. And you can see here the root cap. Root cap actually provides protection to the root tip. And then we have this, long thread-like structures, okay, white color thread-like structures. So they are all root hairs. And these root hairs are present because it increases the surface area for absorption of water and minerals. Next cell is xylem vessels. Xylem vessels are again present in plants. Okay, the location is they are present in all the roots, stems, leaf. Okay, inside leaf they are actually present in midribs, midribs and veins. Okay, they are not present in the cells between veins. Okay, so you can just say that they are located in the roots and the stem, all the stems of the plant. Okay, now the adaptations of the xylem vessel is actually a cell. If you look here, this xylem vessel is actually, a dead cell. Inside stem, these xylem vessels are completely dead cells. Okay, they're completely dead. So inside these cells are hollow. Okay, and as they are dead, the cells from inside they are completely hollow, and hence they allow water and minerals to pass through them without any kind of resistance. Okay, I mean no reverse force is applied on the water or minerals when it passes through the xylem vessels. Okay, so if you look here, the cells are completely dead and they are hollow from the center. Okay, apart from this, the xylem vessels, they have tough and lignified walls to support the plant. That means this walls, the wall of xylem vessel is having a very hard material deposition in it. Okay, a very hard material is deposited in the walls of xylem vessel. This is a polysaccharide which is known as lignin. Okay, so this lignin is very hard, and as this xylem vessel is present in the root, it is present in the stem, and it is present in all the branches as well as in the midribs and veins of leaves also. So it provides support to the plant. The long trees, very long and thin trees, they're able to stand upright. Why? Because of the presence of xylem vessels in them. Okay, so they're hollow in the center. They allow water and minerals to pass through them. And apart from this, they're tough and lignified in order to support a plant. So this one mark question is asked sometimes in the exam, that which particular polysaccharide is present in xylem vessels, which makes them very hard and tough. Okay, so that is lignin. And the function is it provides support to the plant, and second, it transports water and minerals from roots. Okay, because water and minerals are absorbed into the root first. Okay, so they transport water and minerals from root to stem and different leaves of the plant. Fine. This picture shows, the microscopic image of scanning electron micrograph of xylem vessel, and it is magnified 1800 times. Okay, so how many times it is magnified? 1800 times. You can make out here these, completely hollow cells are xylem vessels. These in the center. This one is your entire xylem vessel. Okay. Next cell is Palisade mesophyll cells. They are also present in plants. The location is they are present in leaf, in the upper layer of the leaf. Okay. For example, if a plant is having a leaf like this, so if we'll take the transverse section, okay, this is actually longitudinal section of this leaf. If we'll take the transverse section of leaf, so the uppermost layer is actually covered with cuticle, a waxy coating. Okay, and just below that we have epidermal layer. Okay, upper epidermis. So topmost is cuticle, wax cuticle, then we have upper epidermis, and just below that we have these Palisade mesophyll cells. So one cell is Palisade mesophyll cell, and the entire group of cells is known as Palisade mesophyll tissue. Now the function of this Palisade mesophyll cell is like, very simple to understand this thing, because as they are present in leaves, so definitely they are going to perform photosynthesis. Okay, so these Palisade mesophyll cells, the adaptation is they have maximum number of chloroplasts present in them, because these chloroplasts, they help in performing photosynthesis. So hence Palisade mesophyll cells, because they are highly specialized for photosynthesis, so they have large number of chloroplasts, which helps Palisade mesophyll cells in order to perform photosynthesis. Okay, So they have maximum number of chloroplast present in them. Apart from this, they are long and thin cells which are arranged in the upper layer of leaves. Okay, so this is very important to understand. They're long and thin, so that in less amount of space, maximum number of cells can be arranged. Okay, because as the number of cells will be increased, but the rate of photosynthesis will also increase. Okay, so they're long and thin cells arranged in the upper layer of leaves, and maximum number of chloroplasts are present in them, and the function is to perform photosynthesis. Now next slide again shows you the microscopic image of the transverse section of leaf. Okay, and this is magnified by 400 times. Okay, so this was under light microscope and it is magnified by 400 times. In actual, this is transparent. Just because of staining it looks colorful. So if we look here at in the picture carefully, this topmost layer is the waxy cuticle. Look at the arrow. This is waxy cuticle. Then we have this epidermal tissue, upper epidermis. Okay, these are different epidermal cells. And just below that, we have two layers of Palisade mesophyll cells. Okay, so this one, you can make out long and thin Palisade mesophyll cells, isn't it? Long and thin Palisade mesophyll cells. And little bit you can make out here small round structures, green color, small round structures. These are chloroplast. Below these two Palisade mesophyll cells, we have this spongy mesophyll cell. So entire area from here till here is of spongy mesophyll cell. Then we have lower epidermis, and this one is actually vascular bundle. Vascular bundle means it has a phloem and xylem tissue, which helps in transportation of food and water respectively. Okay, so if any such type of picture is given in your IGCSE papers, you should be able to identify different parts of this transverse section of a leaf. Okay, right now we are focusing on Palisade mesophyll cells. So these first two layers of cells are known as Palisade mesophyll cells. Next cell is nerve cells. Nerve cells are present in animals. So inside the body of an animal, nerves are present. Okay, so nerve cells are present in nerves. The function of these nerve cells is to conduct the impulses, to transmit impulses from sense organ to the brain, and then from brain to different effector muscles. Effector muscles in the sense different organs of the body which are going to perform any function. Okay, and the adaptation of this nerve cell, which actually helps in the faster transmission of electrical impulses, is like they're branched and elongated cells. Okay, so they are branched and very long cells. Okay, so being longer, they're able to transmit nerve impulses or electrical impulses very fast. Okay, apart from this, if you look here, this yellow color portion, this entire yellow color portion, which is called axon, is actually covered with a particular sheath. Okay, it is covered with a particular layer. Okay, this particular layer is actually made up of fats and proteins. Okay, and this layer is known as myelin sheath. Okay, here it is, myelin sheath. So this myelin sheath actually insulates the electrical impulses. That means when electrical impulses are moving through this axon, so these electrical impulses should not come out of the cell or should not deviate. So in order to insulate these electrical impulses, myelin sheath made up of protein and fat is present around the axon. Okay, and the function of nerve cells is to conduct nerve impulses or electrical impulses. Fine. Next is red blood cells. Red blood cells you have already studied in your lower classes. You're already aware that red blood cells are present in the blood. The cell is red in color because of presence of hemoglobin. Okay, so this is one of the importance. Cell is red in color because of the presence of a red pigment in them, which is hemoglobin. Another function of this hemoglobin is this hemoglobin actually combines with oxygen and helps in transport of oxygen by red blood cells. So hemoglobin, they combine with oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Okay, and hence oxygen is transported from lungs to different cells of the body. Apart from this, hemoglobin, apart from this, red blood cells have biconcave disc shape. Now you know the meaning of concave word. You can make out here in this picture very clearly that in the center there is a depression. Okay, so this depression is known as actually concave shape. For example, look at my hand. If my hand is bent like this, so this inner side, the depressed side is concave, and the side which is projected outwards, okay, this side is convex. So concave and convex. So in case of red blood cells, they are biconcave in shape on shape. Okay, bi means two sides, concave means depressed from the center. Okay, so in case of red blood cells, a central depression is present on both the sides, and hence it is called biconcave disc shape. Now the purpose of presence of this biconcave disc shape is it increases surface area for transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide by red blood cells. Okay, more amount of oxygen or carbon dioxide can be carried by a biconcave disc shaped RBC at one particular time. Okay, one more very important adaptation which actually supports this particular function in the sense which supports the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide through the blood is nucleus is absent. Okay, so nucleus is absent in all the red blood cells. They are known as enucleated cells. That's the reason that these blood cells are actually prepared or made in bone marrows and then released into the blood. Okay, so these blood cells cannot divide because obviously nucleus is absent. They are called enucleated cells. So nucleus is absent and they are biconcave disc in shape. So these two adaptations support and helps in faster transport of oxygen from lungs to different cells of the body, and then carbon dioxide from different cells to the lungs. And another very important adaptation of red blood cells is they are very tiny, very small in size. Okay, they can be seen easily in under light microscope, but they are very tiny in size. Hence, being tiny, they can easily squeeze through the capillaries. Okay, they can easily pass through the capillaries, fine, and go very nearer to the tissue fluid or cells. Okay, so these four are the adaptations of red blood cell. Last one is sperm and egg cells. You have already studied in your lower classes in the chapter reproduction, human reproduction. Sperm and egg cells are actually known as gametes. Okay, gametes of the body, or you can also say reproductive cells. Okay, because they help in reproduction. Now the adaptation is these two. We are talking about the common adaptation of both. Okay, so these two, that is egg or sperm, human sperm. These two are haploid. Now the meaning of word haploid is they have only one set of chromosomes in them, or you can say they have only half number of chromosomes in them. Okay. Now when I say half number of chromosomes, take example of human beings. Inside our body we have 46 chromosomes. Okay, that means 23 pairs of chromosomes. 46 chromosomes are present in our body. Okay. Now in case of egg and sperm, only 23 chromosomes are present. Now, when this egg and sperm fuse with each other, okay, they form a single fertilized cell, which is known as zygote. Now, 23 chromosomes from egg and 23 chromosomes from sperm, they join with each other inside zygote and they form 46 chromosomes again. So, the zygote, the first fertilized cell, formed after fertilization process or formed after fusion of these two gametes is zygote, and that is diploid in number. Okay, so remember the adaptation of sperms and egg cells. They are haploid in number. They are haploid cells and they have only one set of chromosomes. Only half number of chromosomes are present, and the function is to fuse together to form a zygote, and zygote is always diploid. It has two sets of chromosomes. Okay. So we are done with levels of organization and specialized cells present in the body, right? In next video, I'll teach you how to calculate magnification in micrometers. Take care. Bye-bye.